everyone. I'm David here, and welcome to the next episode of Chilling3000 Hangouts here for today on the 22nd of November 2025. Hope everyone's having a good weekend here so far, here on this 196th episode of the show. And tonight we have two interviews. Our first one is with Natale, a good friend of mine for a few years now, who is a not only game show fan, but also a mostly known for being a big football fan and also a baseball fan as well from New Jersey. We'll be talking about his various sports and also um, his love for fantasy football, with him being the co-host of the Fantasy Football Fever on Tiny Tim's channel. And for our second interview is with Jesse Ortiz, who is a one of our members here on the network for a very long time, and he also loves sports as well, and also a gamer as well. So that is our lineup here tonight, and of course, we are continuing the Dear Not Dear Jackpot series, with the jackpot now being at $12 million. So we'll see what that takes us here this evening. So without further ado, let's get to our program with the first interview. All right, everyone, we're now here with our next guest here on the program. Please welcome John Natale. How are you doing, John?
I'm good, David. Yeah, thank you for asking me if I would like to come on to your show today. I appreciate the invite.
You're welcome. And I'm actually surprised to currently home right now is still work, but I'll ask you about what you do for a living later on. And we'll get started with this first question I have here for you. How did you get into watching football, and what made it your passion?
I don't really remember how I got into football exactly, but this one is probably when I just saw the game on TV. I thought it looked really interesting, actually no, I do remember something. I think one of my dad's friends, he introduced me to football. He was a Dallas Cowboys fan when at one point, but I grew up on the Cowboys just for a brief while, but it turns out I kind of like the Giants a little bit more, so I kind of became a Giants fan over time.
Because they were playing in New Jersey at the for MetLife Stadium. They play in New Jersey, not actually in New York, but
correct.
They play in the same stadium as the New York Jets.
Yes.
So, as people may or may not know, he is one of the co-hosts of the Fantasy Football Fever and all that good stuff. But I wanted to ask you, what made you decide to pick the Giants instead of the New York Jets or even the Buffalo Bills?
I think pretty much the Giants was really like the first team I watched, and I kind of grew up on it ever since. The player like I admired from that team was Michael Strahan, one of my all-time favorite New York Giants. I think he became the leader in sacks at one point, and he became a Hall of Famer in his second year on the ballot.
That's right, and he's everywhere on the airwaves when it comes to not only football but also hosting Pyramid and
That's right.
I forgot what else he did. Oh yeah, Good Morning America. I think that's how he does currently, but that's what I can think of.
Oh yeah.
Do you watch all those shows, Pyramid, Good Morning America, and all that stuff?
I do like Pyramid. I think he does a good job of hosting that.
And what about Good Morning America?
No, I mean I've heard. I mean, obviously I've heard of the show and I've seen like bits and pieces, but I don't really watch too many talk shows or news programs.
Yeah, same here. But it's good that he's keeping himself busy and all that. I'm not quite sure what else he's gonna do in the future, but it's good that he's doing all of those things.
Oh yeah.
Now when you're covering football, like do you prefer watching the games or listening to them on the radio?
Oh yeah, definitely TV by far. Like I prefer to like see faces and stuff like that because I think you get a more in-depth analysis of the game and stuff like that.
Okay.
Seeing it on the big screen. That's a big thrill about sports in
Okay.
general.
And do you only watch the Giants games or just the NFL Red Zone thing?
Yeah, I do. I do watch pretty much the NFL games when I can. I don't know. I mean, yeah, if it's on, like, I'm definitely intrigued. But if it's the Giants are my number one pick, but the games very rarely air here out here, because over here where I live, it's I get the Seattle broadcast, and then it's just another random game.
I meant like, do you watch NFL Red Zone, like the Red Zone package?
Oh no, I don't. But I'll just
Okay.
watch whatever game is airing on TV, whether it be Fox, CBS, or
Mhm.
NBC. I don't have it. I don't have this prescription or anything. But I will watch
Understood.
the games that are televised.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of faces, have you met any football players in person before?
No, I have not. But that would be pretty cool, though.
Yeah, the only two I have met is Troy Brown and Gronk. So those are the
Ooh,
only two. Yeah, those are the only two NFL players
yeah.
I've met.
I think I saw your photo on your stories or your Facebook or one or the other. I did see
Yeah,
those. Those are cool.
yeah, for sure. And I hope to meet more. Is just that with the whole, I mean, the whole access to players. Like, I don't know how that exactly works with the NFL than I do with baseball. Um, because I know baseball has those fan fests, but I don't know if NFL has any of those
Hmm.
as for fan fests. But
Ah,
um, and I know they do summer camp, but I don't know if you can get access to the players that
ah.
well with the with that. Um, Now I know you currently live in Washington State, but uh, do you go to the Chinese games, often, like, or you used to go often anyway when you lived in New Jersey?
No, 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 I've actually never been to a professional football game or a college game. But I think I do. I definitely want to go one day to see what it's like in person. I've been to baseball games, but never
Hmm.
an actual football game.
Yeah. What baseball stadiums have you been to?
I think I've only been to, I think, Yankee Stadium, but I have been to spring training when I was living in Florida. I went to the spring training home of the Washington Nationals and the Houston Astros and the Miami Marlins
Okay.
and the St. Louis Cardinals. Both of them, those teams share a stadium. St. Louis Cardinals and Miami Marlins share a spring training field, and the Houston
Yeah.
Astros and the Washington Nationals share a field.
Yeah. Definitely. Now, as for the Yankee Stadium, like, did you start the old one or the new one?
I've been to both. But I like the old one. The old one's more nostalgic. I have a lot of fond
Yeah.
memories from there.
Yeah, they had to get rid of it because of money issues or
Yeah.
whatever it is. So, um, I mean, I know it was getting old. I mean, I don't know if it will last until today, but I don't know. I mean, plus there was a lot of problems with the roof, you know, breaking down, like parts of the roof breaking down from time to time.
Hmm.
Back in the day. So I don't know, but there was also some wiring problems at one point, so
Right.
I don't know.
Hmm.
Um, so what was it like living in New Jersey, and what made you decide to move to Washington State instead of New Jersey?
Kind of a long story, but maybe to try to make it as short as possible. I mean, my life in New Jersey was pretty good. I made a lot of friends over there. I'm still in touch. I'm still in touch with most of them to this day. Uh, and around, I want to say, maybe after my first year of college, I moved to Florida. I did have some family members out there. I moved. We moved there for like a change of pace. And like the weather was just pretty cold. It got cold in New Jersey a lot. Florida was pretty good. It was summer all around. That my favorite part was basically having to swim most of the year. But eventually, cost of living became like really high. So that's when I moved to Washington in around 2019. Because the cost of living is a lot better. The wages are more affordable, and I mean, it's probably safer to live there. And this state has the highest minimum wage. So I think I want to say it's currently here. It's $16.66 an hour, I believe, is the minimum wage here in the state of Washington. So yeah, like if you work like a typical 4 or 5 hour day, you could easily make $100 in a day just for a single day of work. Yeah, and it's like there's more to do here too. It's pretty adventurous. You could see a lot of sights and scenery. You could see like mountains. That's pretty cool. It can get cold sometimes, but just the scenery here is very ideal.
Yeah, and speaking of work, what do you do currently for a living?
I'm a merchandising associate at a art and craft store. I'm not sure if you heard of the store called Michael's. Have you heard of that?
I've heard of it, yes.
Yeah, it's like an art and craft store. Like I do for the most part, I do like the merchandising, put all the like inventory out, do like the inventory, basically keep the stock up to date.
Yeah, so that's like basically, do is like keep stuff up to date and not that expiration stuff. That's what
and like unload the trucks when we get them. We got our trucks like once a week, and we have a team that unloads it. I'm part of that team. And then once we're done unloading, we just get the stuff out basically.
Okay. And you work 5 days a week 5 or 6 days a week with that one?
It's a mix. It could be like 4 or 5. I mean, there's only no set schedule. It's just like random days typically, but I usually work in the mornings most of the time.
Oh, okay, I see. Now, as for Florida, like, I mean, how did you stay like cool and in the summertime? Like, I know you probably have ACs, but like, what if you're outside like in the heat that's so hot in July and August and even June? Like, how did you stay cool?
Oh yeah, I do try to avoid the heat as much as possible, but like you said, besides AC, I mean, my apartment complex had a pool. I would go to the pool there regularly, and I would just make sure to apply sunscreen because to avoid the sunburn, you don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, if I was outside, I would try to get as much shade as possible, stuff like that. Or also, do you drink a lot of water, drink a lot of Gatorade, stuff like that?
Yeah, that's what you have to do when you live there. But I feel bad for the people that live there because of that heat in the summertime. I don't know how they do it, but
yeah, the only like bad part about Florida is you probably seen maybe on TV and stuff like that, like hurricanes, stuff like that.
That's another thing I feel bad for is that happens like every so often, in the fall season or whatever, and I'm just like.
Yeah, I mean, luckily I've been fortunate. I've never been involved in a major hurricane. I've never had to evacuate in all the time I lived in Florida. I've been fortunate. It's usually the northern part of Florida that gets it the worst. I lived in the southern part of Florida, so there wasn't as bad over there.
Okay, that's good. What other sports do you like to watch? The most, like, not during the week of football and all that stuff. Like, what else do you like to watch?
Yeah, besides football, it's mainly baseball. Baseball is my number one thing. I mean, as you already know, since you know me for a few years, I'm a big fan of the New York Yankees since I grew up in New Jersey. So,
yeah, what made you decide to be a Yankees fan instead of a Mets fan? Because isn't it New Jersey more of Mets fans, or is it more of Yankees fans? Because
it kind of depends on the part of New Jersey that people are from. If more people were in the Brooklyn side of the more people in Brooklyn and Queens, they tend to be fans of the Yankees. Oh, sorry, fans of the Mets, excuse me. And then people in like Jersey City or the Bronx tend to be fans of the Yankees. I lived in basically Yankee territory for the most part.
Okay.
And as far as how I became a fan, it was my very first. I went to my very first Yankee game. I want to say it was 1995. The last year they were bad before they became a dynasty. I kind of remember it was my dad and uncle. They kind of played a joke on me. We were just going to ride around on the trains and explore the city, but it turns out they surprised me with tickets to my very first Yankees game.
That's cool.
And I remember how I had fond memories of seeing players. I'm sure you heard of the greats like Don Mattingly. I mean, I'm sure as a Red Sox fan, I'm sure you have fond memories of this player, Wade Boggs. You might remember him.
Not watching him, while he was playing because I wasn't born until 2003. But
Gotcha.
I have met him before, and
Oh, nice.
I do know I do know his history. So yeah.
Yeah, I remember vaguely that the very first game they played the Oakland Athletics, and yeah, here's a player you might remember from back in the day, Ricky Henderson.
Oh yeah, I mean,
well, obviously, I know you weren't really born to see him on TV, but I'm sure you've heard of him in general.
Yeah, he's one of the best baseball players of all time, and it's just that so sad to see him pass away.
Yep.
And he's actually played more seasons than Pete Rose.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So, he played from age 20 to 44 with the Dodgers back in 2003. After his 1 year playing with the Red Sox back in 2002. So it's he's a legend and forever will be,
oh yeah.
And he will forever be known as an Oakland Athletic. He played there for 14 years, and it's just so sad that he had to pass away. I don't know I don't remember what the cause of his death, but
yeah, I don't remember. I think it was cancer. I don't remember for certainty though.
Yeah, but he is a two-time World Series champ. Because 1989 and 1990 3 with the Toronto Blue Jays. So there you go on that. So yeah, one of the best baseball players of all time. Period.
Oh yeah.
So what else do you like to do during the week? Like when it's not baseball season, like what else do you like to do during the week?
Oh, like other hobbies. Let's see. I mean, I'm a big game show fanatic. I always my favorite game show by far is Family Feud. I enjoy like all of them, the modern ones, the classic ones. Yeah, you name it. The Family Feud's on. That's where I go to. But I do like a lot of other game shows too. But Family Feud is my favorite.
That's a good choice. And I was going to ask you this: like, how did you join YouTube? Like, was it from game shows or was it from sports? On how you joined YouTube?
I didn't really join YouTube per se. I mean, it was my YouTube channel is linked to my Gmail account, so like I automatically have it. So
I meant like the YouTube communities that we share together. Like how did you join the communities like you're a part of? Like did you discover the people that we know mutually?
Oh, yeah. I think it was just, I don't really remember it exactly. I think it was just like a random invite I got. And I'm like, yeah, since it was game shows one of my hobbies. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? I'll join. And yeah, and that's how I come to meet people. It's kind of cool. You can meet people a lot through social media. Social media is great, where you can meet people from all walks of life, get to know their stories, things like that.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, you're one of the co-hosts of the Fantasy Football Fever. And what other podcast do you do, or is that the only one?
As of right now, I think that is the only one.
Okay, yeah. And it's Fridays at 10:30, right, or 11 o'clock?
10:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I think during the off season, we do Fridays when it's off season.
Fridays at what time in the off season?
Typically, it would be the same time. But, okay. But we'll definitely establish a schedule once the regular season is over. But once but right now we're Tuesdays, 10:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tim McCullen's YouTube channel.
Tuesdays, okay. So it's Tuesdays during the NFL season, and during the off season is Fridays.
Yeah, which would typically be around from March till like August.
Yeah, when the
It's not every Friday though. It'll be like random days throughout the season.
Yeah, when that college football starts around, that's when you get also preseason. Well, do you cover preseason or no?
No, we typically don't do preseason stuff.
Yeah,
Not preseason.
Yeah, for sure. But so how did you get started on the fantasy football, and how did you um what inspired? What made the decision to join the Fantasy Football Fever podcast?
Let's see. As far as how fantasy football got started for me was, I want to say it was a friend of mine but none of you know him. I knew him from school. He asked me if I wanted to try fantasy football. I'm like, yeah, why not? I'll give it a go and see how I feel about it. I didn't like it at first, but it sort of like grew on me, and then that inspired me to create my own league, and then that's kind of where it all got started. And then I met people down the stretch, stuff like that. It was how did I do this? No, I asked people in Discord if they wanted to join. I'm like, all right. Yeah, people were like, all right, yeah, well, I'll join. And then that was how it kind of started. It was like a never-ending chain reaction. And then a couple years later, yeah, you came in.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, how did you came up with the Fantasy Football Fever name?
That one you probably have to ask either Tim or John Flynn on that. I think they're the ones who came up with the name. That wasn't me.
So you're the owner of it, right?
Yeah, I own the league, but I didn't come up with the name. That wasn't me.
Okay. Well, that's good that you had people help you with creating that name. But I'll make sure to ask them someday. So that's how you got to fantasy football, and have you won any like titles when it comes to fantasy football before, or no?
Yeah, I was my very first year doing it didn't go very well, and I considered quitting, but I had a change of heart and decided to just play on. And most of the seasons ever since, I almost made I made the playoffs just about every year. And actually, this past season in our league, I was the league winner.
Oh, good. That's very cool. Who has won the most in the league? Who has won the most in the league?
I don't think there's any. I think so far every season, I think has been a different person every time. We haven't had any repeat winners yet.
Okay. And back to other sports. What is your favorite teams for the NHL and the NBA? If you had to pick
I don't really watch hockey that much anymore, but I think when I did, I sort of liked the New Jersey Devils. And then when I was living in Florida, I did watch a little bit of the Miami Heat.
Miami Heat, okay. That's interesting pick. Oh yeah, that's why, because you were in Florida. That's why.
But yeah, as far as hockey, I don't know any players at all, so I can't relate to hockey today. Basketball, I have to be in the mood for.
Yeah, I mean, this basketball season, a bunch of their superstars are dealing with injuries this season. Ooh. So, yeah. But the one good thing about it is that they brought back NBA on NBC.
Oh, nice.
Recently, so that's where a lot of big stuff happened in past NBA history. So when you think about it, there's going to be now with baseball going to be adding to NBC starting.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. That's right.
There's pretty much going to be a game on Sunday night on NBC every week now, basically. Yes. Throughout the years. So, but I will say this though, I don't like the NFL games on Sundays. I don't. I think not just the outcomes, but the commentators are not that great when it regards to those type of games. I mean, what do you think? What do you think about Sunday Night Football for the past couple of years or so. Since Tom Brady left.
Yeah, I mean, I do like Mike Tirico. I think he's a good announcer, but I'm just not really a big fan of Joe Buck.
No, I'm talking about NFL. Joe Buck is on ESPN now. I'm talking about Sunday Night Football when it regards to um. Let me check the Sunday Night Football announcers real quick
Yeah,
because I forgot the other.
I thought it was Mike Tirico, but maybe I'm wrong then.
It is Mike Tirico, but oh, here's his um side partner, Chris Collinworth. That's his side partner.
Yeah,
Chris
those guys are
Collinsworth.
good, but the ones from the past were better. I'm trying to remember their names.
Oh, as for Sunday Night Football, yeah, I don't know, but
Yeah.
I think Troutbuck did like the Sunday afternoon games on Fox because he used to be on Fox, and then now he's on ESPN, which I enjoyed Monday Night Football very much with how they broadcast, and they have very good announcers on over there. So I do like Monday Night Football the best.
Oh yeah.
But nowadays I kind of listen to the games on the radio more. But if I had to pick, like my favorite NFL broadcast, presentations. I mean, I do like watching Tom Brady commentate the afternoon games. With his with him, doing the color commentator.
Right.
And also Monday Night Football because they have one of the best presentations out there in regards to that. But as for Thursday Night Football, I do like El Malcos, but those games are terrible. Like, what do you think of Thursday Night Football? On Amazon Prime, ever since they switched to there.
Yeah, I unfortunately don't have an Amazon Prime account, so I can't see the games. But but yeah, the Thursday night. I mean, I think the games on Thursday Night Football in general are kind of weird. They should just balance it out, make every game the same day, either all Sundays or all Saturdays. Give everybody put everybody the same day, so that way nobody has an advantage or anything. For extra.
Perhaps.
The only exception I think for Thursdays would be like Thanksgiving. Like that's perfect for the football day. But other than that, I think Thursday night games are pointless, with the exception of Thanksgiving.
Yeah. But the one thing I'll give credit for when it regards to Thursday Night Football is that certain teams have that Sunday off, and then they also have next week off with the bye week. So, I think that's also why they do Thursday night. I don't know how that got started with it being on a Thursday night instead of a Friday night. I don't know how that got started with the Thursday night games, but I don't know, but I don't know. I just think they should have went back to NBC for Thursday night games, but then again, they have that for Sunday night. So,
right.
I don't know. It used to be on both NBC Thursday and Sunday nights, right?
I believe so. Yes, it's been a long time.
Yeah. So let's talk about the New York Giants here for a little bit, before we end this interview, and then maybe we can talk about the Yankees too, before I forget. So as for the New York Giants, the record of your team right now is, I can't really find it right now.
2-9.
2-9. Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a little bit of a surprise? Like, I mean, at one point didn't they win back-to-back games or something? And I mean, at one point they were being more popular than the New York Jets just like last month or so. So like, I'm just asking you as a New York Giants fan, like, wasn't there a point where they were, going high up and being more popular than the Jets, not just record wise, but like the fan base and all that? Like, wasn't there one point of time with that as concerned?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because the Giants have had a lot more recent success. I mean, they've been to the playoffs at least once in this past decade. But yeah, they have been struggling as of late. The the Jets have the longest playoff drought. They haven't been to the playoffs since, I want to say, I think it was 2010 or 2011. That's the last time the Jets were even in the playoffs.
Okay, I'm looking at the schedule now. They did win 2 out of 3 back this year on September 28th and October 9th, but ever since they beat the Eagles, they haven't been the same since.
Right.
So, I mean, what do you think of the quarterback? Like, do you think, like, how many years of his quarterback is into his career with the Giants right now?
Yeah. Well, Jackson Dart is new. He's a rookie, so right now he's not playing. He's just dealing with a concussion protocol. But I
How long is
mean,
he dealing with that?
yeah, when they had Daniel Jones wasn't a bad quarterback at all. He just had a bad offensive line. And then look at Daniel Jones now. He's having a lot of success with the Colts. Because yeah, the Colts have a great offensive line.
Yeah.
The Giants ruined him. Yeah, Daniel Jones could have had a better career, but the ownership ruined him. His offensive line ruined him.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones could have. Yeah, I feel bad for him because he only went to the playoffs once when he was with the Giants. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Back in 2022, that is.
Yes.
Has Jackson Dart, like, how long has he been in this protocol thing as Jackson Dart?
Well, let's see. Like he wasn't initially the starter when the season first started. It was Russell Wilson, I think, for the first 4 weeks or so. Jackson Dart played in, I want to say, it was either 2 or 3 games before he got hurt, and now this is his second missed game.
Okay. Well, hopefully
now
he has been recovering.
Yeah. So now they're using Jameis Winston is going to be their starter for the time being.
Okay. What happened to Russell Wilson?
He's still there. He's just on the bench.
He's been a terrible back as of late.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. He's not the same anymore. He's getting older, so it might be time for him to think about retirement.
Yeah. I mean, look what happened with him on the Steelers. You guys say more.
Yeah.
But and now as for the Yankees, they did, beat the Red Sox in the postseason wild card, but then after that they got terminated by the Blue Jays. What do you think about their future, and do you think they can still be in the playoffs every single year like they have been since 2017, other than 2022 or 23, what year Judge got hurt? I think it was 22 or 20. No, it was 2023 when Judge got hurt. So, what do you think about that?
Yeah, they definitely need Judge. He's their best player on the team by far. He won back-to-back MVPs. He got the AL MVP this season and last season. Well, yeah, they're pretty much nothing without Judge because Judge carries that team on his back. But yeah, it takes more than one player to make a team. So the team needs to make some improvements. I think the talent on the bats are there. They just have to work on their pitching a little bit. Because ever since when Garrett Cole went down, they somehow fell apart a little bit. They just weren't the same team without Garrett Cole.
Well, not just that, but their defense just fell apart. That was another thing.
True.
So, I mean, they couldn't field the ball, in the playoff run. So, I don't know what else to say, but I mean, let's see if they can spend the money and see what that goes. But
we'll see what happens during the off season. You'll probably see a lot of off season activity in maybe like December and January. That's where all the off season work happens. You'll see like trades, free agent signings, things like that.
We'll see what happens, but
and I just have to hope. We just have to hope that Judge does not get hurt during the World Baseball Classic. I think that's very risky for players to be doing that. You probably heard of that the World Baseball Classic that's taking place in March.
Yes, and it won't be for next year, in March of 2026. But I don't know. I think it's good for baseball to see players from outside the country get noticed and
Oh yeah.
come all together. I think it's a great thing for baseball to do that. I don't know what was the first year they started the World Baseball Classic, but
Yeah.
another,
Yeah, I think they're doing this every 4 years now, I believe.
yeah,
Just like the Olympics.
yeah, which I think is a great thing for baseball.
Oh yeah.
Um, I mean, I know there was one back in 2017 before the pandemic, and then happened in 2023, but I don't know when was the last time they did that before 2017. But it's a great thing they do for Major League Baseball.
Oh yeah.
Um, so, uh, well, thanks for doing this interview here. And where can they find you on social media?
It basically just be my Facebook account. You go to just facebook.com/J Natale. It's just the letter J and then my last name Natale.
All right. And what YouTube channels can they find you on the football podcast you do?
I know it's Tim McCullen's YouTube channel. I forget the exact name off the top of my head, but I think it's like TGM, and then there's some letters. I forgot what it was though. But
Okay. Got it. Well, that'll be it for this interview here, and we'll be right back. Right after this. All right. Hello, everybody. People of all ages, welcome to another jackpot game of Deal or No Deal here on the Chilling3000 Hangouts. And today we are playing for $12 million with our contestant, Email. How are you doing, Email?
Hello.
Are you ready to play Deal or No Deal here tonight?
Let's do this.
And here we go. You can hear the game loud. You can hear the game loud enough.
Yep, we're good.
Okay. Here goes nothing. Welcome to Deal or No Deal. To pick at this game, it's going to take a lot of guts, a lot of luck, and a great sense of timing. And before we start the game, let's bring out the cases. Game, please. Making cases, and there are 26 of them up there on the stage. Number of cases from 1 to 26. Each of them holding generous money is inside. We don't know what case and what amount, but there's one thing that we do know is that the top prize you can win, email, is $12 million in cash of the jackpot.
8 figures.
That is correct. All the way down to a single penny. Even we have the $12 up there. So, all the 26, what case do you want to keep for the entire game?
Being what day this is, I'm going to go with the 22nd.
22nd. That is the case. To keep to take home, spend it whenever you want. Unless we decide to sell it to the banker, who is a male, as usual, even though it's not 2018 or 19. But still, when it's in that case, those cases of the 25, it's not in yours. Yes, it is the speed version, so pick 6 cases all at once.
Okay. 8, 19, 3, 21, 26, and 1.
Alright, let's start with case number 8. Open the case. Not a great start. 2.4 million. Number 19, 2,400. Number 3, $120,000. In the middle there, but we'll deal with that one. Number 21, $6,000. And number 26 has $9,000. And number 1, $12,000. Not a bad round.
Pretty even.
Yep, exactly that. Okay, now let's see what the offer is. You have 50 seconds to make your decision. Your next offer is $396,000. Deal or no deal?
We just got started. No deal.
Yes, it did. No deal. Okay. 5 cases.
Let's go 11, 14, 6, 9, and 23.
Okay, number 11, open the case. $12. There it is. Number 14. 300,000. Okay. Number 6. 9 million. Number 9. 3.6. There's the penny that we were looking for. That's the lowest amount on the board.
A little rough, though.
Yeah, you gotta be careful on the right side there. I'm only getting rid of most on the left side. But at least we got the lowest amount on the board. And let's see what the next big offer is. And that is $364,000. So, you can take that right now or open 4 more cases. So the question is, for 10 seconds step, deal or no deal?
No deal.
No deal. All right. 4 more cases.
5, 25. No, 25. Oh, damn it.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's too late. All right, 7 and 17. Okay.
That's what happens on speed deal, no deal.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Could have been worse. Number 25. 900.
Yeah.
7.
Okay.
Number 17. There. Okay. $4,800. That did not go the way I expected. Speed deal, no deal. You'll
It can be very unexpected.
not only that, but you can mistaking yourself. The next big offer is $839,000 for 50 seconds. Deal or no deal?
I'm going to try another round. No deal.
No deal. Don't forget you have that safety net with 3 cases to go. 4.86 mil and $12 million for the jackpot. Here we go. 3 cases.
2, 20, and 13.
Number 2, open the case. This is important. 4.8. Number 20. Left side.
Oh.
Number 13. Left side. There we go. $300. That was not a good round though. You were under 500 by picking small amounts on that one. Now I have only a 13% chance of winning at least $12 million. That, well, winning overall, that is. But the next big offer is $1.6 million with a little under 13 seconds left. Deal or no deal?
1,006,000 actually. What's your man?
Yes.
All right, no deal.
No deal. Wow. That is risky there. With 2 cases to open, only 2 6-figure amounts. Well, 1 6-figure amount. That the other one with the jackpot. 2 cases.
15 and 18.
15 and 18. Please skip a small 15 left side, please up for the case. 3,600. Number 18, please left side, up for the case. $1,200. The jackpot still remains. Remember that when you're going further and further in this game, the jackpot is still in play, and the bank offer is $1.483 million. With under 10 seconds left, jackpot's still in play.
I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it.
Are you sure what the...
I'm sure. Sure deal.
Okay.
Deal.
Oh crap. I was trying to get my mouse over here, but it's not my bed.
Okay, well.
One case at a time, remember.
Alright. Just go 10.
Let's just go with 10. $120! The jackpot is still in play. Remember that, email. We want to give away $12 million, and let's not forget, $600,000 is up there as well. The safety net is still there. $1,923,000.
Okay.
4 cases up there on the stage. Jackpot is still in play.
Deal.
50
Deal,
seconds.
please. Please.
Okay.
All right.
$1,923,000.
All right.
We have our first millionaire here in our jackpot series. That is great, but we're not going to celebrate that much yet. Want to know why? The jackpot is still in the luminaire. What's it? What? You know, if you took down the offer, there was more in store there for you. What would your next choice have been?
16.
16, okay, with one case at a time, of course. Open the case. That's the jackpot. Well, that's 60,000. And the offer would have been over $2 million. Okay. We said nothing after that. Your next choice is
12.
Number 12 would have had $600. Oh boy. The next big offer would have been $4.2 million. The email made the wrong decision. Or 24.
4.
Going right down to the wire. And the final offer would have been over $5 million bucks.
I'm probably gonna laugh if this is the 12.
And I think that's supposed to be $12 million in case 22. And oh, $600,000.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Now we can celebrate with our first one-time $1 million winner here of over $1 million. Does it still count as a $1 million winner if it's over $1 million, but in a $1 million range?
It can, maybe.
Perhaps. But that's how you play they are noting right there with over $1 million in the jackpot series and made a good deal at the end. We'll come right back after this here on Chilling3000 Hangouts.
Are you looking for the most fun entertainment on YouTube? Then welcome to the Network 3000. We have game shows, vlogs, live streams, podcasts, live shows, sport videos, gaming videos, plus more. Subscribe today. We hope you enjoy the Network 3000 on YouTube.
Alright, everyone, here on this interview, next here on the program, please welcome Jesse Ortiz. How are you doing, Jesse?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good, and glad to have you on here for this interview. And my first question is, what inspired you to start a YouTube channel, and what were your goals to start with it?
So it was 2014, around the time Mick Juggernuggets was a popular YouTuber, and he had this thing on his channel called the Cycle Series. It's at the height of the popularity of the freakout videos. And then there was also Angry Grandpa before, all that controversies with Mike.
Yeah.
I liked those YouTube channels. Those were the two main ones that got me into doing YouTube. And once I got my console, I started streaming in
Which one?
2018. PS4. That's when I started streaming.
Okay. Yeah. What was the first YouTuber you mentioned?
Mick Juggernuggets.
Yeah. I've heard of the type of series he's done before, but I didn't watch it. But I didn't know what was his show about, so I didn't have the chance to watch it. But I did hear of. I did see a couple of Angry Grandpa's videos where he passed away, which horrible that he did, but I forgot how he passed away. But
he had cirrhosis of the liver, but his videos were fucking. Oh, excuse my language. His videos were freaking hilarious. They
yeah, he was a funny person, and all that. So sad he passed away. But so how did you meet Charlie and his group? Over 5 years ago or so now.
When before I met Charlie, I met Lennon. I met Lennon on a app called Meet Me. I basically put my app called Meet Me. I was trying to stream on there, because I noticed people were streaming on there, so I started advertising my channel and all that. And Lennon contacted me, and they had these YouTube meetups, and I went to one of the meetups. It was okay. It was kind of odd, I never knew YouTubers would meet up like that. And then then there was the drama surrounding Lennon and Chayton, and that's how I met Lennon. That's how I met Chayton through our problems with
those Lennon at the time. They're all cool now, by the way. But for those who are wondering what that was about, go check out the Rate and Rate podcast episode 29, which is still the most biggest episode of the Rate and Rate podcast history.
But I'm cool with Lennon now.
Yeah, all of those are respected again, with each other as it were. So you're also a big sports fan. How did you get into sports, from back in the day?
I was a kid when the Cowboys were. I got into the Dallas Cowboys when they first won the Super Bowl, and then when they whooped the Buffalo Bills. Man, I remember my first Super Bowl was when they won when the Redskins won against the Buffalo Bills in those during those times that Buffalo went to the Super Bowl and they lost all those Super Bowls with the Cowboys, and then I think what I started getting in around 95 is when I became a big Cowboys fan when they won their against Pittsburgh. It was a pretty cool moment for me because it was on my birthday when it happened, and then the Spurs. I was always a Spurs fan. I think around 95 when they went to the Western Conference Finals against Houston. That was when David Robinson was the leader of that team, and we went and Hakeem Olajuwon whooped our candy asses. David Robinson couldn't stop the dream shuffle, and man, and that was around the time we had Dennis Rodman too. Dennis Rodman had played for the Spurs, but little problems arose with that, and
for sure.
Then I got into the Astros. Baseball. Me and my brothers used to go out and play baseball. And we would always do the Jeff Bagwell stance, and I wasn't that coordinated, but I still hit the ball. Well, those were fun times, man. Playing out in the street, and then knocking the ball into the yard and hopping the fence just to get the ball back. Luckily they weren't regulation baseballs. Because we would have been in trouble. We would have had to pay the owner of that house money for window repairs.
And baseball. That's why it's America's pastime, because everybody played baseball in their backyard in some way. At somebody's house or at their house. That's why it's America's pastime. Is not just in America, but in many other countries as well. Dominican Republic, especially Japan.
Definitely Japan. They even have video games, baseball video games in Japan that have gotten popular. I've seen YouTubers play them, and they look very good.
And I don't know how baseball got so popular there, but the two players I could think of is Ichiro and Otani. Coming from Japan. And what's fitting is that the Dodgers manager Dave Roberts was born in Japan, so it's like, well, the Dodgers are like Japan's baseball team as their favorite. But still, it's an amazing baseball culture. It really is. And what about for hockey?
Well, I remember the Spurs had won in '99. The Spurs had won the NBA championship, even though they put an asterisk to that because of the shutdown at the time. And then the Dallas Stars ended up winning the Stanley Cup in '99 as well. Now I've played. Now I've never played. I've played offline. I've played NHL video games, and man, they're fun to play. I even played when I still have a PS3, but I used to play FIFA, and I would always want to record the Spanish announcer, because when he scores, the player goes goal, the announcer goes goal, and that loud. He holds that note for a long time, but that was popular back in the '90s.
Interesting. Do you have any favorite type of franchise type of series video games? Because I know there was a while from the 2K or whatever.
I like to attempt to do team rebuilds. I did one with the Dallas Cowboys on Madden 2003, and I got fired.
Yeah.
That one was like, I was like, whoa! I got like, that's the first time I've ever gotten fired in a video game as a coach, because like you can do it like in the older Madden games. You could be a coach, like in Madden 2000. You would have to type in your name to be the coach, and then you would have to look at how you were doing, and like the owner would tell you if you don't improve the winning, you'd get fired. But luckily, during that time, the Cowboys were good. So, but around 2003, we sucked, and that's why I got fired. I was like, anybody would get fired because that Cowboys team was bad. Like once Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman left, the only quarterback we had was Quincy Carter, and he didn't really get good until 2004.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got in trouble. He threw it all away because he got in trouble by drugs in his system. And Bill Parcells was our coach at the time, and he wasn't tolerating that, so they fired him, and then they brought in Vinny Testaverde, who was the oldest quarterback in the league, and we didn't make the playoffs that year. And then we brought in Drew Bledsoe, and then Drew Bledsoe didn't lead us to the playoffs, and then the next season he was performing bad, and then we get Tony Romo, which we had great years with Tony Romo, but we just we never had the defense to make deep playoff runs.
Yeah. But I mean, at least they're a Cowboys fan that actually likes them, by living in Texas, because there's so many Cowboy fans that live, outside of the state of Texas. I mean, I don't mind if the Cowboys are like your second favorite team or something, but as your main team, from not being from, Texas, it's just very odd to me. I mean, I know they're America's team, but it's just like, I mean, I get it. You can pick your favorite teams here and there, but
there's two types of Cowboys fans. Me, I'm only a fan of the team. I'm not a fan of the owner, Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones, to me, destroyed that 90s dynasty. Once Jimmy Johnson left, instead of building around that team, you could have built around Troy Aikman and that team was aging. That team was a veteran team around the latter part of the 90s. 98 we missed the playoffs. Barry Switzer left, and then the 98-99 season we got Chan Gailey, and instead of we had a chance to draft Randy Moss, which would have been and Tony Gonzalez at one point in time. If we had gotten those two players, if we had Randy Moss, and you could have over time, you could have had Irvin at the number 2, and then you could have had Moss at 1, and Aikman would have had 2, like maybe 3 weapons to throw to at that time, and then drafting a running back, a star running back would have been perfect. It would have helped Emmitt Smith mentor. Emmitt Smith could have mentored his replacement, and then Emmitt would have retired. Emmitt didn't retire until the offseason of 2005, but he was still a good running back, but he wasn't as effective as he once was. And
I haven't watched the rest of the Cowboys documentary yet on Netflix, but one day I'll get back into that. But do you have a favorite football player of all time, except with basketball and baseball and perhaps hockey?
If I had to choose basketball, it would be Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan's a 5. Kobe Bryant too. Kobe Bryant and Tim Duncan were the two mainstays of during that Spurs Lakers rivalry. Michael Jordan in the mid to late 90s, it was Michael Jordan. And in football, Dan Marino was a good quarterback to watch. Steve Young, even though I was not a fan of the Niners because of the rivalry between them. John Elway was another quarterback to watch in the 90s too. He was an amazing quarterback. Seeing him win those 2 Super Bowls was a good exclamation mark of his career. And then Troy Aikman was another quarterback I grew up enjoying. And then in hockey, I was more of a Wayne Gretzky type of guy because he was all over the place. But yeah, those were my favorite players growing up.
And what about for baseball for the final one?
I was always a fan of the Atlanta Braves teams. The ones that Ted Turner.
The 90s, yeah.
The 90s. Glavine, Maddox, and Smoltz were my favorite pitchers. Then the Astros, it was the Killer Bees, Albert Bell, Craig Biggio, and Jeff Bagwell. Seeing those guys play was awesome. And then there was Ozzie Smith I got to watch play when he did that amazing catch, when he did that backflip catch. There's a lot of players. I got to see Moises Alou play. I got to see Luis Gonzalez during the time they won the World Series.
Yeah.
A lot. There was a lot. Cal Ripken was another player I liked. I would watch, including the Chicago Cubs, because we had WGN, and that was the only thing that you would see is the Cubs on that channel.
Yeah.
And man, it was also nice to hear Vince Scully call play-by-play at times.
For sure. Wasn't it the Braves always on TBS on Tuesdays?
Yeah, they were always on TBS on Tuesdays because of the Ted Turner owned the team, and TNT and TBS were owned by Ted Turner also. Ted Turner also owned WCW at the time, which he was pouring money into that company, and then when that merger happened, that's what took Ted Turner out, and WCW eventually died due to bad booking and bad management decisions, and giving wrestlers guaranteed contracts and with creative controls led to the downfall of that company. But yeah,
and I assume the Astros and Rangers was both locally, right?
Yeah, they were both locally.
Yeah, and you always been, living in Texas, so you're able to see those teams right there. What sporting stadiums have you been to in person?
I've been to the Alamo Dome, which was built in '93. We were supposed to get, at the time we were supposed to get an NFL team or an NFL franchise here in San Antonio. Instead, we got screwed over because of that. We did have we had a Canadian Football League here. We had a team called the San Antonio Texans, which that branch of the Canadian Football League didn't last that long. And then we've had like football teams here, but they weren't that popular. Like, you saw the the XFL had the San Antonio Brahmas, and they're moving. And then we had a WNBA team also. I've been at the Spurs Arena, which the Frost Bank Center, but at the time it was called the AT&T Center.
Okay.
And man, that place is massive and big. I remember the last show I went to there was that wrestling thing, and boy, we were up high in the nosebleeds, and there was nowhere to go. It's like,
yeah, I bet. And nothing for baseball.
Oh, I got to see the. We have a stadium. We have a minor league.
No, I meant like having been to a Major League
I would
Baseball
love to. I would have loved to go into the Astrodome as a kid.
Mm.
But when I would go to trips to Dallas, and we would. I got to see Texas Stadium from afar, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then we went to Houston. I got to see the Summit, where the Rockets used to play. Now that the Summit is a church now, it became a church thanks to Joel Osteen, who owns that building. He basically turned a basketball arena into a church, which is incredible. But
And have you seen the current Astros stadium, whatever that's called now?
I remember when it was called Enron Field when it first opened.
Oh, it's called Dakin Park or
something. It went from Enron to Dakin Park, to Minute Park, and to that now. That's one of the plans, because I'm planning on maybe taking a trip out to Houston to see an Astros game in the near future. I want to go, and I also want to go to a Dallas Cowboys game because I've never been.
Well, what is Dak Prescott's contract anyway? Did he just sign an extension?
Yeah, he did, and he became the highest paid quarterback in, I think, in football. I think that's gonna hit. I think that's gonna hit the cap hard if they decide to get rid of him. I hope they don't, but if they do, it's gonna be a cap penalty.
It's a
had they not signed him back, they would have had and let him go. It would have been a big cap hit too.
Yeah.
So it was a lose-lose situation. We let him go, and then if we had let him go, we would have had to been forced to do a rebuild. We would have had to look for another quarterback.
Yeah. And speaking of players, have you met any sport players before?
Sports players?
Yeah, like any players in general.
I remember one time we went Christmas shopping, and we saw Will Perdue. He played for the Spurs at the time. Dude was tall.
Yeah.
And we saw him. He was at Toys R Us, I guess, shopping for his kids. And cool. We went to get a game console, which was cool, Super Nintendo.
Oh, okay, yeah. And
Will Perdue was like right there, and it was freaking awesome. I've also met Carlos Mencia in person. He was pretty cool, but he was pretty. He's a pretty nice guy, He would let us go to shows for free at the River Center Mall. I would have to look for the CD, but he recorded live shows on blank CDs, and he gave us an autograph.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool. Now going back to the oh yeah, that's right. Have you met any wrestlers before or no?
When I was working at the hotel, I used to see them a lot. But we were not allowed to. If you're an employee at the hotel, you were not allowed to approach wrestlers.
Yeah.
But I would see them in the lobby, and some of. I even like there was been bands that have stayed at the hotel I was at. There was Thin Lizzy and Deep Purple. Those are like bands from the 60s and I think the 70s. Popular. Thin Lizzy was popular in the 70s, but the original lead singer passed away due to a drug overdose, and they had John Sykes who passed away. I think about a year or two ago. And that guy that guy was that guy was a bragger. He was at the restaurant, and I saw all the members of Thin Lizzy there, and then it was funny because like he was like, I paid for the hotel and I paid for the food. And I was like, damn, this guy's a bragger, but it was cool to see him. And the our valet that worked there, Rick, he was a guitarist in a band.
Okay.
And we like I said again, we weren't supposed to approach the musicians, but Rick did, but he didn't get fired.
Yeah.
Lucky him. But yeah, it was cool because I remember seeing them. Like I would do, we would have to go, and I was always the one that would have to go to the floors to get all the room service. When they were done, they would leave their trays outside their rooms. And I would just see. I saw one of the guys just walking, to his room, and I was like, "Wow, that's awesome." But yeah,
for sure, yeah. But so back to the Astros. When the scandal broke back in 2019 about the 2017, like, did you almost want to replace a team, because of that, or like what was? I know you were angry and all that.
I was angry. I was angry at the fact that they did it. Like I was like, how it was pulled off was just wow. Like like that basically tarnished. To me, it tarnished. For me, it tarnished the legacy of what came before. Like, it tarnished. For me, it tarnished Craig Biggio, Jeff Bagwell. All those players that came before him, Lance Bergman, all Ken Caminiti wasn't a saint, but he was a part of that 90s team. We had but I feel like they redeemed themselves back in 2020 when 2022 when they won.
Yeah, because of Dusty Baker, I was so happy for him.
I was glad he got a ring, because that guy for the longest time had been, successful manager and never got that high. And when he did, I was like, it was awesome.
Yeah,
I think I know we went there. I remember we went there and we lost. I think to the Phillies, right? No, to the Braves.
It was back in 2020. It was the you're talking about 2020.
Yeah, I think didn't we play against the Braves at that time?
No, it was the Tampa Bay Rays.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was the Rays, but still. Now, as speaking of World Series, what did you think of the 2025 World Series recently? Like, was it one of the best in recent memory? Because
Game 7 was that Blue Jays team. That Blue Jays team, had they not, at the end of the Game 7, had they not allowed that home run and them to come back into it, I think the Blue Jays would have been the 2025 World Champions, because that team was deep. That team was like a San Antonio Spurs built team to beat. I mean, that's the 2014 Spurs team was built to beat a team like the Heat. That's how good. Because I know for the last couple of years, the Blue Jays have been, not been out of the playoffs, and I was shocked because they made the playoffs this year, and then they
looked terrible. They looked terrible going into the playoffs, but they were able to, be like a World Series team, and they definitely did, and I was very happy for them. But on to the next question here. how did you get into wrestling? I know you're only a old school wrestling fan, right?
Yes, I mean, I still watch it. It's just it's not as good as it was back then. I started
Yeah.
watching wrestling roughly around late '96, all the way. That's when it started. Around the time the Attitude Era was beginning.
Okay.
So, I started watching WCW and WWF around that time, and that's
Okay.
what. And back in the day, man, that's all we had. We grew up with wrestlers like Hogan, Macho Man, Roddy Piper, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock.
Yeah.
I grew up with those wrestlers. Hogan was a dinosaur around the time, but yeah, and which gave way to, around the time wrestling games weren't as good as they were now. But around that time, this is all we had to play. We had, WCW. We had all these games. We had
Yeah.
we had to play games like this, WCW.
Hmm.
These were the games that No Mercy is the best one out of these two. This is WrestleMania 2000. I grew up playing that as kids, and we would just, that's all we would do. We would either go outside, or hell, we would even pretend wrestling, me and my brothers. And of course, we would get in trouble for it. Our dad would yell at us, "Stop wrestling! Don't come cry to me when you break an arm or a leg." I remember one time my dad went to the bar to go visit his friend Missy. Had her two kids. They were like backwoods and rednecks, right? So they were wrestling in the bar, and one of the kids picked up his brother. They were twins. One of the pigs picked up his brother and did the Undertaker's finishing move on the concrete floor, and we thought that kid was dead because he pile drived him, but the kid got up and they continued wrestling. I was like, man,
yeah,
that's how popular wrestling was. Even in middle school, we would get in trouble telling the teachers to, crotch chopping and telling the teachers to suck it. And then we would get in trouble. We would get written up and sent to in-school suspension.
Yeah.
You weren't allowed to rust. You weren't allowed to wear D-Generation X T-shirts because they were like very controversial, and they had it said D-Generation X on the front, and it would say "suck it" in the back.
Oh God.
Yeah. So yeah, we would, especially when we would like as teenagers, The Rock was very popular. And I remember one time when I was in middle school, hanging out with some friends, one of the kids goes up to the principal. Well, I think it was the vice principal, and he goes, "You could take that walkie-talkie, shine it up nicely, and stick it straight up your candy ass." And the principal just grabbed him by the shirt and took him to the office. I was like, "Why would you do that?"
That's what happens.
That's how popular the Attitude Era was at the time. You kids would get in trouble for wrestling out in during recess, or kids would get in trouble for repeating the catchphrases of your favorite wrestler.
Yeah, but that's funny to get by his shirt. That's funny. Now, going back to the other sports, did you like watching them on TV or listening to them on the radio better?
I would do both. I would listen to the San Antonio missions on the radio, and back then, and then I would watch. We would watch Spurs games. They would come on. They would come on our local channel, Fox 29, late at night sometimes. And like I said, I wish basketball was still allowed to be on, regular cable TV, because these streaming services are like expensive, and people will have to pay money just to, and you don't get like the whole games, like all the games.
Yeah.
And then because I used to love watching the Spurs, like when we had Fox Sports 1, the Spurs would play on there during the home games, the ones where they would play the crappy teams and blow them out. Those are the games I would watch.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun. It's fun now. It's going to be fun watching the Spurs play again this season. Might even go to a game, depending on the price of the tickets.
Yeah. Yeah, television has changed so much over the past decade plus. It's crazy. And sports are going on to Netflix, Peacock, Apple, Netflix is crazy.
Yeah, the NBA, isn't the NBA back on NBC? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Haven't watched any of that as of late. I haven't gotten the chance yet, but
not me yet, but I remember the old days, when they would when the Spurs would play. I remember watching Shaq. Well, back when he was Orlando Magic, I remember all those games, back in the day, Shaq was a big thing, and then when he went to the Lakers, they won.
He's on ESPN doing preseason. I mean, pre-game, activity on there. So
no more TNT, right?
No, but still the same production in some ways, but it's now on ESPN. And as for NBC, it's mostly going to be on either Tuesday or Monday nights on NBC. Actually, no. It's also on Peacock on Mondays, I think, but on Tuesdays, NBC.
Yeah, I might have to get Peacock for myself.
Yeah.
So I can watch some games.
Yeah, and a lot of the Peacock games are on Mondays, and then once the NFL season is over, I think they're gonna do Sunday night games for NBC. So, and also NBC just got back baseball as well.
That's good.
Yeah. So, at the very least, until the next 3 years. So, it's gonna be that on Sunday nights during baseball season. So, NBC is gonna have Sunday sports for basketball, football, and baseball, and at the very least until the next couple of years. So yeah, I mean, better interested to see what that looks like. I don't. I mean, I haven't watched Sunday night sports in a long time because I think they're not that good. But we'll see what the NBA and baseball looks like in regards to that. So now as for Texas, do you plan on living in Texas, for from now on, or you want to live elsewhere? Because I don't know how you handled the summer with all that heat going on.
Trust me, it's draining, man. That sun during the summers, it'll sap you. You could ask Chayton. Oh well, Chayton has probably a more high tolerance, like that time when he was recording himself walking to Fiesta, Texas, which I thought was not that smart because he could have, dropped dead from heat stroke. But
yeah,
you gotta be if you're like gonna be in Texas, make sure you have a thing of water with you to keep yourself hydrated. Sunscreen.
Don't go out much as well.
During the winter, it's nice. But lately, it hasn't been that cold outside. It's been like in the 70s or 80s. Like today, it's 77 and partly sunny.
Okay, that's good. And you told me you worked at a hotel, but what other jobs have you worked at?
I've worked on, my first job was a hotel. My second job was working at a steakhouse, and then I worked at Fort Sam for a while, which was fun because working for the military, it paid pretty good. But at the time, minimum wage was like $7 an hour. It's not like it was now. When I first got my job, I was making $6 an hour.
Okay, that makes sense. But
being a waiter, a busboy, back then was my thing. But I do plan on. I think my next job I want to do is GameStop for a little bit.
Okay. Do you have a dream job?
Well, I mean, I've noticed since I've started doing all those messing around with shorts and clipping my videos, I've noticed that my channel's starting to grow again. Like I'm almost at 160 on my Jester Gaming channel. And I'm at 125 right now as we speak on the other channel.
Okay.
Well, I was building a TikTok again, but for some reason I got banned.
Yep.
So
probably for the best.
Yeah. I think I'll just leave TikTok alone.
Yeah. But speaking of GameStop, don't they have a new I don't know if it's a day per week, but they have something now where Mason told me that you can now trade for anything at GameStop, which I don't know if you've heard of it, but I don't know if that's like.
Yeah, I heard of it. I have a friend that works at GameStop. He's I'm a regular at the one I live here, where I live, and I'll definitely ask him about it and see what see what the thing is. That way I can know. That's something new to me.
Yeah. And you know what is not new to us? GTA 6 could possibly get delayed again. Like it's crazy how many times GTA 6 has been delayed.
Yeah, that's insane. The fact that game is taking that long to be made is baffling. But sometimes when you delay a game, you're basically trying to make it as good. Because I remember they did that with Red Dead Redemption 2. They delayed that a couple of times, and when it came out, it was a masterpiece. I'm pretty sure I have old clips on my old channel of playing that game over and over because it was so good. But I think once it comes out, I think the people will,
we'll see.
Yeah, because a lot of people are like complaining about certain stuff being put in the game. It was like, dude, like I remember playing the very first one, and they had like very controversial stuff in there. They had people,
But do you know when GTA 6 first started development?
No. I mean, I pretty much had beaten the GTA 5 a long time ago, but they really took to me they really took what made the game great, and then I feel like GTA Online ruined the game because normally when you have a game like that, because when 4 came out, they had DLCs with the game, and they didn't do DLCs. I mean, they just started pouring in, going online, doing the online thing. And if you ever played Grand Theft Auto 5 online. It's so toxic. You can't go anywhere walking around with your avatar without getting shot at by somebody. And now they have these flying cars, flying more vehicles that shoot you. It's not. It wasn't fun for me. It wasn't fun anymore. Like if I were to get Grand Theft Auto 5, I'd probably get it on PS3 just because you don't have to pay to play online, and I just walk around.
No.
But nowadays, video games are like microtransaction, and it takes away from like when you play NBA 2K, my career, you literally have to pay money just to be a 99 overall.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, but yeah, I mean those NBA games were very popular, back then.
Yes, I think my favorite NBA games, was NBA Live. Like you had so many football games and basketball games to choose from. You either, like, if you couldn't afford Madden, you had NBA, you had an NFL Quarterback Club. You had, and if you're on PlayStation, if you couldn't afford Madden, there was NFL Game Day, and then on Xbox you had NFL. You had and NFL 2K was another game that was awesome. Like NFL 2K5 was 10 times better than Madden 2005. And then after the NFL signed so exclusively with EA, Madden just took a downturn. Like I get bored. Like Madden wasn't as exciting. Madden doesn't have the excitement it did back in the 90s and 2000s, because like you could do a lot more in the
and there's a curse when it comes to Madden. When you're on the cover, that's what happened.
Brett Favre was on the they put Brett Favre on the cover of 09 to break the curse. I remember because the Madden curse to me was a real thing, because anytime a player would get on the cover, like this guy Sean Alexander was on the cover. His career was never the same. Michael Vick was on the cover of Madden 2004, and he broke his leg during that season.
Man,
yeah, it was
crazy. That I knew that was going to happen to the 49ers. What was his name?
Brock Purdy got hurt again?
No, it was Christian McCaffrey. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, he was on the cover, a couple years ago, and the rest of the 49ers kept getting hurt. Especially with him.
Are you shocked that the Chiefs are like 5-5 right now?
Hard to tell because I haven't been paying attention to them for this year anyway.
The Patriots are.
I'm shocked. Now. Yeah.
Oh, Drake May has proven to be a good quarterback. Now all they need to do now is build a team around him, and I guarantee you that team will be a contender.
Yeah. Let's hope so. Where can I find you on social media?
You can find me. Well, I'm on Facebook. I was on TikTok because I was rebuilding my social medias. I was on TikTok as D-Generation Jess, but you can look me up on Facebook as Jester and Chains. You can look me up on Instagram. Those are the only two I got. Instagram as Jester and Chains.
Yeah. All right, understood. And with that being said, that will be it for this interview. All right, hope you all enjoyed the episode here today. Thank you for John and Jesse for doing those interviews here this evening. And also Emo for playing that exciting jackpot game of deal. And next week, we are going to be airing Chilling3000 Hangouts on a Friday for the first time in a long time, because we are going to be doing a hangout session, and also I wanted to test this out for when we do episode 200 on a Friday next month on the 19th. So we'll see how that goes next month and also next week as well. So with that being said, thank you all for watching this episode of Chilling3000 Hangouts, and see you all next week on a Friday.